welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about this. Okay, look, I know I'm late to the show. I had a very busy week. Um, but the debate happened. The great debate. Kamala Harris, President Trump, finally happened. I was excited for it. I was let down with it. I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of stuff that he could have hammered down on that he didn't really do anything for. Now I think he let me down. He let a lot of people down, but doesn't mean I'm not gonna vote for the guy. Still gonna vote for him. But look, he had he had three. It was 3-on-1. Okay, Kamala Harris and the moderators. They were all ganging up on Trump. Okay, look, he had follow up questions. She didn't. They they grilled him on a couple of issues. They didn't on her. It was completely one sided, and anybody with a brain could see it. Everybody that watched that crapshoot, that train wreck of a debate, saw that it was three against one. Trump was pretty much, it was a free for all with him against three other people, and it was there. There's a lot of people mad about it, me including. It wasn't fair. It wasn't biased. It wasn't well. It was biased, but it wasn't nonpartisan, as they say. It was completely one sided, and I don't see how anybody could not see it that way. Look, you can say what you want about Trump, you can say what you want about Kamala Harris, but the fact that they didn't grill her on anything and they did him just tells you, look, right off the bat when they were talking about the abortion issues, they asked Trump three different times about him implementing a national abortion ban, which he stated three different times that he was not going to do it. He stated it before that he wasn't going to do it, but they kept hammering it on him. And then Kamala joined in on the onslaught and said, "Well, are you going to abort it? Are you going to implement that? Are you answered the question?" When she hadn't answered a single question all night. I mean, it was just ridiculous, just completely and utterly ridiculous. But I got a couple clips that I wanted to show everybody. If you hadn't seen it, if you haven't, you can come to me. I know. Like I said, I'm late to the show, but I've got some stuff that we're going to take a look at, and you can tell me. And look, I don't. It was, yeah, it was bad. It was lie. Look, they fact checked him. Fact checked. Like, he said a couple of things that were just like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Why are you even why even bring it up? Look, like example, she goaded him into commenting on his crowd size at his rallies. Why? Why even give into that? Look, ask if I'm President Trump and she asks me that silly ass question, I just look at her and be like, why are we talking about my rallies when we should talk about the fact that people are using credit cards to buy groceries under your economy? Go ahead, you can have my floor. That's what I'd have done. Just saying. Pivot, 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 President Trump. Just whenever she comes at you with something silly like that, you pivot. You say, look, there's no reason to even talk about that. We need to talk about something important, like the fact that people can't afford groceries. Your floor. Hmm. Seems pretty simple because she can't answer that question. She can't. And the fact they brought up the border bill. The border bill, like I said, I've said it many different times. The border bill that she keeps talking about, that Trump called up people and had it killed. It had 10 or 20 billion of the whole entirety bill was going to the border. Not a single dime of it was going to the border wall. And then you had 70 billion of it going to Ukraine. That's not a border bill. That's a foreign wars bill. I've said it before. You'll probably hear me say it again because I think I've got that clip in here. Anyways, that's what he should have hammered her on. They talked about that stupid border bill. And when Kamala brought that crap up, it's exactly what I was screaming at the TV, telling President Trump, tell them what is in the bill. Tell them why it got shut down, not from you, but from the Republicans. Tell them why it got shut down. Because you can't call it a border bill when you've got $70 billion going to a foreign war. Okay, that's just no. Anyways, we're gonna take a look at a couple things here, and y'all can let me know. It was just oof. Um, it was frustrating to be sure because Trump could have nailed her to the wall on several occasions, and he just didn't do it. And you ask me who won the debate? Yeah, I'll say Kamala won it. I don't think it moved the needle for either one of them. But as far as the debate, which one won it, I would give it to Kamala. And it pains me to say that, but that's how I feel. She got the better of him, and she may not see the problem was she got the better of President Trump, but she didn't take the opportunity to lay out her platform, how she's going to enact these silly ideas that she's going to try and implement. She didn't say how she was going to do it, why, nothing. So I think it was a waste of time for both of them, to be honest. I don't think it moves the needle in either direction. Now I could be wrong. Some polls are starting to come out now. I saw that President Trump's still winning on the economy. He's still winning on the border, and those are the two most important aspects in the election this time. So it doesn't. It, like I said, as much as I say it didn't affect either one, I really don't think it did. I mean, she got a little bit of a boost out of it, but not much. But we'll see. I mean, it's the weekend. I haven't seen a poll that just threw her way up from winning the election, or not the election, the debate from the other night. So I don't know. We'll see. Uh, I like I said, I think it's just a lull, and I think it'll turn back around in President Trump's favor. But anyway, now there's a couple things going around too about there's these earrings that you can buy that are actually earbuds, and I've seen a lot of that going around the Tiki Talks and on X, but I didn't see anything to prove it. I mean, yeah, the earrings that have the earbuds in them, it looks a lot like what they're selling to what Kamala had on during the debate. But I don't know. No, I can't say that for sure because I don't see any proof of it. There was also a rumor that Lindsay Davis, one of the commentators, there was a rumor she got fired. That wasn't true either. Now there's the internet's ablaze with ABC getting investigated over the whole thing because there was a whistleblower, I guess. I couldn't find anything on it. Anyway, that they were supposed to come out by this weekend, and like I said, it's Saturday now. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I don't know. Saying that, but anyway, they were saying that Kamala Harris was fed the questions a week prior, and that she was able to rehearse the questions and bring up the answers, and just so that she was given the answers a week prior so that she could rehearse them and be ready for the debate. And like I said, there was no follow up or anything on her questions anyway. It was, and I liked Ben Shapiro probably had my favorite reaction to it when he said, one of the commentators, they turned to President Trump and said, yes, you're an orange bad man, and how do you feel about that? And then Trump would answer, and then they'd turn to Kamala Harris and say, okay, why is he an orange bad man? Anyway, I'm not doing it justice. I'm gonna show you the clip because that was my favorite reaction from the debate because that's pretty much what it was. Like I said, it was 3-on-1, and under the circumstances, I think President Trump did good. I just think he got goaded into a couple things that he shouldn't have, and he should have nailed her butt to the wall on a couple of things that even I was like screaming at the TV saying, say this, don't fall into that trap. But anyway, uh now let's see. This is going to be the first. This is the very first question. Okay, look, the first question that was asked of Kamala Harris. The first question. She dodges it, and there's no follow up. None. She didn't answer the question. Nothing. Take a look at this. Look, I'm going to tell you right now. If I was President Trump, She didn't answer the question. And then when you go back to President Trump, I would have just been like, look, she can have my time because she didn't actually answer that question. That's what I done. Anyway, check it out. Let's see.
Hi, Mark
Oh
Barton.
my
It's Sandy Hook
goodness.
Promise here.
Didn't know there
When
was
the
going to be an
gunman
ad. My bad.
shot
They tried to kick
There's another
Trump
one.
off your ballot.
I'm sorry.
They even tried to end his campaign and take him out for good. But President Trump will never stop fighting, and neither can you. Get out and vote for President Trump this year.
Oh, yeah. Get out and vote for President Trump. Anyway. Well, another one? Come on now.
Recipe. Expensive for far too many people. We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for those families of $6,000, which is the largest child tax credit that we have given in a long time, so that those young families can afford to buy a crib, buy a car seat, buy clothes for their children. My passion, one of them, is small businesses. My mother raised my sister and me, but there was a woman who helped raise us. We call her our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small businesses.
What does that got to do with the question?
My plan is to give a $50,000 tax
Are
deduction
we better off than
to
what we
start
were
up
4
small
years ago?
businesses,
No.
knowing they are part of the backbone
can't
of
answer it.
America's
That's why she's
economy. My
hem-hawing
opponent, on the other
around
hand,
and-
his plan is to do what he has done before, which is to provide a tax cut for billionaires.
What did he
and
do
big
before? I had more money
corporations,
when he was in
which will
office.
result in $5 trillion to America's deficit. My opponent has a plan that I call the Trump's sales tax, which would be a 20% tax on everyday goods that you rely on to get through the month. Economists
Don't
have
believe that for a
said
second.
that Trump sales tax would actually result for middle-class families in about $4,000 more.
When
a
did he
year
say that? Never.
Because of his policies and his ideas about what should be the backs of middle-class people paying for tax cuts for billionaires.
President Trump, I'll give you 2 minutes.
Wait. See, this is what I'm talking about, okay? I'll give you 2 minutes. They didn't follow up with her. What would have been so hard for this guy? I forget his name. It's some weird ass name. Look, what would be so hard is to say, okay, but you didn't answer the question. Are Americans better off today than they were 4 years ago? She didn't answer it, and that's like I said, this very first question. She just beat around the bush, and I would, if I was President Trump, look, she can have my time because she didn't actually answer you. Can you want to answer them? Go ahead and answer them. Anyway. He didn't do that. Like I said, I wish he would have, but he did not. He did not. Just another. It was a missed opportunity right out the gate. Right out of the gate. Anyway, look, and then like I said, there was this other commentator, Lindsay Davis. Okay, she was. Okay, look, this is I think this is a clip of her. We'll check this out because this is just insane.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born.
Look, this was them talking about the abortion, and President Trump actually asked. Now I give him credit on this one because he straight looked at Kamala and said, "When is the cutoff? 7 months, 8 months, 9 months? When is the cutoff for your abortion?" That's all we want to know, because look, in Minnesota, her vice presidential pick in his state, he has made it legal up to 9 months and after birth. It's not a lie. Look, and all these people, I mean, look, let's look at this. This is his policy, okay? This is his and hers. This was what happened in Minnesota, okay? Under Governor Tim Walz, babies born alive in botched abortions were left to die. Then he removed reporting requirements. There was eight that I'm aware of, that the babies were born after it was, now granted it was a botched abortion, babies were born and just left to die. Tell me that's not what that's not what they were just saying. Now look, that moderator, she might be right. Lindsay Davis, she may be right. There's actually no law saying that you can kill a baby after it's born. That's okay, that's murder. That's a law. But he actually removed the requirements that stating that you had to report it. If the abortion got botched and that baby was born and then just left it to die, he made it so that they didn't have to report that. That's what we're saying. And look, it's disgusting. Anyway, now let's go on. And this next little clip I got is going to be the border, and he could have hammered her on this too. Look, this is the one that I was telling you about. Look, take a look at this.
We know that illegal border crossings reached a record high in the Biden administration. This past June, President Biden imposed tough new asylum restrictions. We know the numbers since then have dropped significantly. But my question to you tonight is, why did the administration wait until 6 months before the election to act? And would you have done anything differently from President Biden on this?
It's a good question. The problem is they don't follow up. It's a good question. Now, I'll give her credit to this, because she spews this BS a lot about this bill that she's going to bring up right here, and how President Trump got it turned down. He called up his buddies and they got it rejected, which, for one, he wasn't the president. He's not in power. He didn't have any kind of, House or Senate seat. The guy wasn't in power. Whether you like it or not, does he have some pull? Yeah, probably. Yeah, he could probably call a few people and say, look at what's in the bill. Like I said, it was like 10 or 20 billion going to the border, which not a cent of it was going to the wall. And then you had $70 billion of it going to Ukraine. You cannot call that a border bill. You can call it a foreign wars bill when you've got the majority of the money going to Ukraine to fund that war. You cannot call it a border bill. It's ridiculous. It's a lie. It's two-faced, and it's exactly what the Democrats do every single frickin' day. Anyway.
So I'm the only person on this stage who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations.
Oh my gosh.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not
For the trafficking of guns, drugs, and human beings. And let me say that the United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now overtime trying to do their job. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. I know there are so many families watching tonight who have been personally affected by the surge of fentanyl in our country. That bill would have put more resources to allow us to prosecute transnational criminal organizations for trafficking in guns, drugs, and human beings. But you know what happened to that bill? Donald Trump got on the phone, called up some folks in Congress, and said, kill the bill. And you know why? Because he'd prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem.
This is because nobody, with the exception of a few people that I've seen, Louder with Crowder. I don't even know if I've seen Ben Shapiro, which I give him a lot of credit. He does a lot of good work. Um, who else? Who else has actually covered what's actually in that bill? I look. No offense, but does President Trump even know what was in that bill? I mean, he had to have, right? He had to have gotten to take a look at it, maybe. I guarantee Kamala knows what's in that bill. $70 billion to Ukraine. I guarantee that. And the people that look at that bill, that's why it was turned down. Not because President Trump made a phone call or two, allegedly.
And understand, this comes at a time where the people of our country actually need a leader who engages in solutions, who actually addresses the problems at hand. But what we have in the former president is someone who would prefer to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. And I'll tell you something.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now, everything that I heard I watched this thing in its entirety, okay? The night of it, and like I said before, I apologize for not getting a video up before now. It's infuriating. He got a couple jabs in there, but look, I did not hear any kind of truthfulness coming out of her mouth. She was fake. She lied. She was she just, it was terrible, okay? Anybody who says that she was wonderful and she slammed him and blah 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 and just praised her is lying to themselves and to you. She did not do well. Like I said, I don't think it moved the needle for either one of them. They both did bad. If I had to give a winner, it would have been Kamala. Just because she goaded President Trump into a couple of things that he shouldn't have took the bait for. Anyway.
He's going to talk about immigration a lot tonight, even when it's not the subject that is being raised. And I'm going to actually do something really unusual, and I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies, because it's a really interesting.
That's the rally thing that she, goaded him to. And he, instead of talking about the border like he should have, look, under my leadership, we had the wall going up, we had record low immigration coming from the southern border, and as soon as Biden and Harris took over, they got rid of stay in Mexico, and day one they did all this. They got rid of all his policies concerning the southern border, including stopping building on the wall, and we have been now an influx of 20 plus million. That's what I think. Now the official number is like just over 10 million. That's only the ones being reported. It's gotta be over 20 million. Think about it. 10 million that are just being reported. Okay, it's gotta be at least double that. Anyway. Now, I will say, on behalf of President Trump, he did nail the closing argument, though I think he should have either opened with this or just slammed her on the fact that just slammed her on this fact every time she opened her mouth about wanting to do something. Every time she said, I want to do this or that, he could have just said, well, why didn't you do it now? You're in office now. I've said it before. A lot of people have said it before. She's in office now. She can do it now. You can go to the Oval Office and have, you can just grab up old Biden's hand and just pretend that he's writing, because we all know he's half there, half not. But anyway, she can go. They can go close the border right now. They're not doing it because they don't want to do it. Anyway, check out his closing. Like I said, I thought he did really good on his closing. Check this out.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it, and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like We're not going to frack. We're not going to take fossil fuel. We're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year, they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just ask one simple question. Why didn't she do it? We're a failing nation. We're a nation that's in serious decline. We're being laughed at all over the world. All over the world, they're laughed. I know the leaders very well. They're coming to see me. They call me. We're laughed at all over the world. They don't understand what happened to us as a nation. We're not a leader. We don't have any idea what's going on. We have wars going on in the Middle East. We have wars going on with Russia and Ukraine. We're going to end up in a third world war, and it'll be a war like no other because of nuclear weapons, the power of weaponry. I rebuilt our entire military. She gave a lot of it away to the Taliban. She gave it to Afghanistan.
$80+ billion.
What these people have done to our country, and maybe toughest of all, is allowing millions of people to come into our country. Many of them are criminals, and they're destroying our country. The worst president, the worst vice president in the history of our country.
President Trump.
And right. Completely right. Like I said, he should have hammered those facts. The fact that she has been in office for the last 3.5 years, almost 4 now, he should have hammered that fact every single time she said something about what she wants to do. You've been in office for 3.5 years. Why haven't you done it yet? Oh, I'm gonna do this. You've been in office for 3.5 years. Why not now? Oh, I want to do this. Why not now? Every single time, hammer it in. And every time she brings up something silly, like your rally sizes, your crowd sizes at your rallies, pivot off. Why are we talking about that when there's more important things to talk about? Pivot off. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I know that much. Anyway, look, now I'm going to go to a couple clips now. Like I said, I didn't cover a whole lot of the debate. I really talked more about it than anything else because it's just frustrating. It's infuriating. Sitting there watching it and then watching it again to clip it. Anyway, check this out. This is Ben Shapiro. Like I said, he probably my favorite reaction to the debate. Check this out.
The big takeaway from this is not going to be about Trump, who still remains.
Between oat milk and almond milk, which should I drink?
Neither. This is a protein drink. You've got almond.
Remains Trump. And it's really not going to be about Harris, who performed the best I think it's possible for Kamala Harris to perform, which is to say she was fairly obnoxious. She lied a lot. She said a lot of things that were untrue. She was never called on any of that. The big takeaway is going to be the continued destruction of the legacy media on behalf of the Democratic Party. The legacy media have decided full scale. They are now apparatchiks of the Democratic Party. They are so far up Kamala Harris's ass that they're doing active colonoscopies with their eyeballs. It's unbelievable watching David Muir ask questions to Donald Trump like, why are you so bad and orange and mean? And then turning to Kamala Harris and saying, and why is he so bad and orange and mean? It's absolutely insipid and totally insane. The media tonight were beyond the worst expectations that I had for them.
And now
See, completely agree. 1,000%. He said it the best. The man, I thought it was funny. They're so far up her ass that they're gonna do colonoscopies with their eyeballs. That to me is hilarious. Anyway, that was my favorite reaction to it. He's upset and rightfully so. Like he said, there was no follow-ups. They did a bunch of fact checks on Donald Trump and numerous lies that I called out that Kamala Harris was just spewing out of her mouth, that even I was like, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. The defying people on both sides crap. It was debunked by even left-wing fact checkers. The bloodbath comment. Not true, he's talking about the motor industry. They didn't fact check that when she said that either. It's just ridiculous. I mean, they can't be bothered to fact check her because they wouldn't be able to do it. They can't do it because they're just mouthpiece for the left-wing party. Anyway, Megyn Kelly, she was mad too. She was fired up. I liked her reaction too. Take a look at her real quick.
The worst piece of all of this is the obvious tactic by ABC News, which was as follows.
Oh my gosh.
They tried to kick Trump off your ballot. They even tried to end his campaign and take him out for good.
At least it's a Trump
But
ad, I
President
guess.
Trump will never stop fighting, and neither can you. Get out and vote for President Trump this year.
Hey, check this out.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I
I'm
stopped
sorry.
taking
Here we
metformin
go
and
again.
started doing this instead.
Mr. Trump, you said something incredibly controversial, which was the worst piece of
Here we
all
go.
of this.
Okay, check it out.
Is the obvious tactic by ABC News, which was as follows. Mr. Trump, you said something incredibly controversial and terrible. Let me remind you of what it was. Do you have any regrets or thoughts on how terrible you were? Trump answers. Vice President Harris, how bad is Trump? And then she'd answer. It happened over and over again. That was the format. Mr. Trump, you're a piece of shit. Kamala Harris, isn't he a shit? Thank you.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. Look, her and Ben both said the same thing. I said it too. It was 3-on-1, and ABC. You get whether or not the rumors about the whistleblower or everything else is going on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because everybody can see. Everybody saw how one-sided that debate was, and how much they went after President Trump, and how Kamala was treated with kids' gloves. Yes, she got answered some tough questions, or she got asked some tough questions. My bad. But she just doodled on about something else and never actually answered the question, and then nobody followed up on her, including President Trump, saying, look, she needs to answer that. She didn't actually answer that question. Can you have her answer that question? Or if they, one of her lies, and they didn't fact check her, and then they went to President Trump, are you going to fact check her? Because that's not true either. Oh, you want me to do it? Okay, I'll do it. Crazy. Okay. This, Sean Hannity, this is from him, but we'll take a look at this too. Hopefully there's not another ad in this one.
There is no state in this country where it is legal to kill a baby after it's born. Madam Vice President, I want to get your response to President Trump.
and then they just cut her off. She's, well, not her. They didn't let President Trump answer. She said straight out, there's no law in America where you can kill a baby after it's born. Maybe a law, but it's still happening with the botched abortions. Anyway.
ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports. The Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that. Vice President Harris.
Look, this is about that was about the whole Springfield, Ohio thing where the Haitians are eating the pets. I've seen a couple things. Look, I've seen a couple things where people are saying yes, they're stealing cats and eating them. I know the geese in the park, they're taking those. I've seen enough on that to say yes, I probably believe that because I've seen enough videos on that. The cats thing, I don't know. Do I believe a politician who's come out and said that it's not happening? No. Because it's a politician, and I'm not going to believe them until I see it with my own eyes. But that's just me. Should he have pivoted maybe to something else other than people eating cats and dogs and pets? Probably. I mean, that probably wasn't the strongest move for him to make at that point. You could see in that moment, I want to say he kind of thought about it for just a half second before he was like, whatever, I'm going for it. And he did. Probably not something that I would have done. But again, anyway.
I'll let you respond to the rest of what you've heard. President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country.
President Trump answered that question, okay? He said the FBI has straight up said that the national crime rate has been coming down, but they're not reporting from major cities, including Chicago and New York. They stopped reporting from those cities because it looked bad on the Democrats. Anyway.
The question was about you as president, not about former Speaker Pelosi, but I do want Vice President Harris to respond here.
Vice President Harris, he says you hate Israel
That's absolutely not true.
You said she went to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Vice President Harris, have you ever met Vladimir Putin? Can you clarify tonight?
Look, that's just another. This is just another.
Yes or no, you
pandering.
still do not have a plan.
Look, I'm just saying.
ABC.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Okay. And it's crazy. I mean, you can tell me what you thought. Like I said, I apologize for not getting it up sooner, but I had a lot of stuff going on. Anyway, but look, you can let me know what you thought. I know a lot of people probably saw it. Tell me what you think. And to me, it was just crazy how it was just so one sided. I can't say it enough. It was so one sided, and it was yeah. That that host, I keep forgetting the guy's name. The moderator from ABC. He has now. I did see this, that he had 100% positive coverage for Kamala Harris, and he had 93% negative coverage for President Trump. That right there alone should tell you that you shouldn't have him on there as a moderator. But anyway, I mean, maybe put one and one. Like, put somebody from President Trump's camp in there, and then you can have somebody else on the left from Kamala's camp in there. That way you can, at least have an even playing field. But I know today he's already come out. I think it was yesterday he came out in his rally in Arizona. He said he's not going to do any more debates. But we'll see. Maybe he'll change his mind. Maybe he won't. He feels like he won. He made a statement about the fact that when a prize fighter loses a match, they're automatically, as soon as the match is over, they're calling for a rematch, and that's what Kamala did when that is. Before they even got off the stage, her people were on social media calling for another debate. So, and that's what he said. He feels like he won, and he doesn't think that he should have to do another one because he already did one with Biden, which was the first debate, and he did a second debate that was supposed to ended up being a town hall on Fox. That was the second one, and now he's done this third one where Kamala actually showed up, and it was just a crapshoot for one side. I mean, it's just, so he just feels like he doesn't need to do it. And I mean, I can't blame him. I want him to do another one because he didn't have his best stuff with him that night, and he probably needs to do another one. But that's just me, and that's what I think of. But hey, y'all, let me know what you think. I appreciate you hanging out, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.